Hello, I'm Tanisha, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. And before we get started, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. Have a happy Mother's Day and be blessed in all that you do. Today's topic is going to be about mental health awareness because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And how do we have a healthy mind? How can we have a healthy mind? When you take care of your mind, everything else can fall into place. Some people, unfortunately, overwork their minds with stress, worry, and fear, and that's just to name a few. Mental health is not discussed a lot. In fact, in some countries, in some places, it is a taboo. We should not be afraid to talk about mental health. So, the question I ask is, what is mental health? According to the CDC, mental health includes our emotional, physical, and social well being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It determines how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. So, as you can see, it's very important to take care of your mind, to rest, and to make healthy choices. What does it mean for our minds to be overworked? It means to be exhausted, tired, and it is the opposite of refresh. When you don't refresh your mind, you're overworked, and it is so important to have our minds refreshed. And that is to receive new strength, that is to rejuvenate. When we're rejuvenated, we do the opposite. We're able to take care of ourselves and to manage our state of mind. How do we do this? We watch how much information we take in. We don't have to watch the news every single day. It's okay to watch the news one time a day or every other day, but we have to be careful about how much information we take in, especially when watching the news, because we don't want to overdo it. Sometimes it could do more harm than good. And it's good to manage it by following a routine, by connecting with family, getting enough sleep, exercise, and eating nutritious foods. That's another way how we can help our minds. And it's also important to relax. We can relax by reading a book, praying, reading the Bible, doing art projects, creating art, painting, playing games, and maybe if you have time, to learn a new skill. So, what exactly is mental illness? According to the CDC, mental illness are conditions that affects a person's thinking, feeling, mood, or behavior, such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. These conditions may be occasional or long lasting, which means chronic, and it affects someone's ability to relate to others and function every day. Mental illness is very common in the U.S., and it's also a common thing around the world. In the U.S., according to the CDC, more than 50% will be diagnosed with a disorder at some point in their life. 1 in 5 Americans will express some type of mental illness. 1 in 5 children will have it in their lifetime at some point. 1 in 25 Americans will deal with a serious mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar, or major depression. What is depression? Depression and sadness are not the same. Depression equals something serious. It's a serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel and act. You lose interest in activities you once enjoyed. It could be mild to severe. Someone may feel worthless or guilty. Certain factors can be biochemistry, which is chemicals in the brain that are not balanced. It could be genetics, which means it could be passed down through the family. It could be a personality trait, which means low self-esteem, or it could be an environmental trait, someone who came from an abusive home filled with violence and neglect. Depression at times can be treatable through various medications. So if you're suffering from depression, don't be afraid to speak out. Another form of mental illness can be anxiety. It's a nervous disorder when there's excessive amount of uneasiness and it turns into a panic attack. This is called anxiety. Another form of a disorder is called bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is also known as manic depression. There are severe highs and severe lows within a person's emotions. They could be extremely overly happy one minute or one day, and then the next minute or the next day, they could be severely, severely depressed. Another form of mental illness that we discussed earlier and mentioned was schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, with this, people can have memory loss, hallucinations, paranoia, hearing of voices, unconscious emotions, inappropriate emotions, thought disorder, delusions, and can be very agitated. Schizophrenia is characterized by a thought or experience that seem out of touch with reality. It's disorganized speech or behavior, and they can have difficulties with concentration. Another one is dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder, also called D.I.D. It is characterized by the presence of two or more distinct or split personalities or states. It's usually a reaction caused by trauma as a way to help a person avoid bad memories. Each have a unique name and characteristics. D.I.D. can equal an alternative personality. Symptoms can include memory loss, which is amnesia, sense of being detached from themselves, blurred identity, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and the ability to cope with stress. There's also another one called borderline personality disorder, BPD. People with this can also be extremely sensitive. They have the fear of abandonment, unstable relationships, unclear about their self-image, impulsive, can have destructive behaviors, self-harm, extreme emotional mood swings, chronic feelings of emptiness, anger, explosive anger, can be out of touch with reality. Personality disorder is an illness marked by a pattern of very, very bad mood swings, self-image, and behavior disorders, and it affects the way they feel about themselves and others. Poor mental health can increase heart disease, stroke, and cancer, according to the CDC. Suicide is the second leading cause of death between 15 to 34-year-olds in the U.S. But suicide also affects older people as well, and also elderly who are going through their life changes. Mental illness is very common and can be treated. So we should be able to talk about it more and not be afraid of it and bring about awareness. If you know someone, reach out to them if you can. Mental illness can be treated, and it is an important part of an overall health and well-being. Now, the question I want to ask, people with mental illness, are they violent? No, they're not violent. There are people who need help. They're regular, normal people just like you and me, but have a condition with mental illness. A lot of people hide their mental illness and they do not talk about it because it's considered a taboo. But the more we bring about awareness, the more we're able to help those with mental illness. Half of mental illness, according to the CDC in the U.S., begins and can start at the age of 14. How can we take care of ourselves more? How can we reach out to those who have mental illness? And if you're suffering with it, what are some tips that can possibly help you manage it until you're able to speak about it and to talk about it? Some tips includes, first of all, do not compare yourself to others as you are unique in your own way. Communicate. Communicate your illness. Love yourself. Seek help if needed. Rest, sleep, exercise, eat well. Talk about your illness. Do not be ashamed of it. I hope this short video helped to bring about mental health awareness. We are all in this together. I know during this pandemic of the COVID-19, a lot of people are feeling isolated. They feel abandoned. They feel like they cannot cope. And we need to reach out to those people as well. If you know someone who is suffering, pick up the phone and call them. Say, hey, I just want to check up on you to see how you're doing. I know we can't be socially together because of this COVID-19, but I want to see how you're doing. How are you holding up? Is there anything I can do for you? And that can make a world of difference in their lives. Send in a text message. Hey, just texting to check up on you. Hope you're doing okay. Sending them something in the mail. There are various ways to reaching out to those who are suffering from mental illness during this epidemic time of COVID-19. I hope everyone is staying well. Have a fantastic day. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the women out there. Everyone be blessed, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great one. Bye.